Thanks for joining us on the Bearcat Sports Network. It's time to talk men's basketball for the 2018-19 season. We're joined by head coach Chris Foster. And Coach, you came in late March, had a lot of players coming back. In fact, 11 returning players coming back from last year's squad. You had some time to work with them last spring and throughout the offseason and in preseason. Talk about that transition, how things have worked out so far.
It's been really good. Those 11 guys that you're talking about have really been great leaders for us. And we've asked a lot of them. It's a lot of new stuff that they're having to learn. So I would say it's been challenging for us as coaches, and it's been challenging for them as players. But they've progressed really nicely. They're picking things up. Their leadership and commitment has been great to this point. So very pleased with those guys.
Talk about some of the top returnees. Obviously, 4 starters coming back from last year, including one of your leading scorers, Nate Michael, who scored a school record 51 points in the Bearcats regular season finale last year. Other key starters, including Nolan Gerling and Gio Offord, coming back as well.
Yeah, Nate's been as good as advertised. I knew he was a really good player, but his leadership, that stuff has been unbelievable. He really fits what we do, so I think it's been kind of a natural progression for him. Gio is coming along. It's tougher on somebody that handles the ball as much as he does. But he's coming along nicely. Nolan, again, another guy that maybe a little bit out of his comfort zone. What we're asking of him right now, getting him on the perimeter a little bit and kind of working his way in and out of the post. But again, all those guys are just doing a great job. Nate Bethel had a knee injury, so he's going to be out for this year, but continues to be a leader and somebody that really has a good understanding for the game that kind of helps some of the younger guys in the program.
I know when you came in, you hit the ground running in terms of the recruiting trail, but a lot of talent coming in this year. You signed several new guys. One guy that looks like he's going to have an impact right away is Elijah Thomas, a junior college transfer. And you've got guys coming in like Logan Corman, another JUCO player, as well as a top freshman, Carandis Harris Anderson. Talk about your recruiting class.
Yeah, I like those guys a lot. I think, we got here late and, kind of getting started that late. Wasn't really sure what we would be able to find just recruiting-wise as far as wanting to bring in guys that fit what we do. And those 3 guys you mentioned have been great. AT, I've known his high school coach for years and years and years in Des Moines. Great high school program, and then he goes to junior college, wins a national title, finishes 3rd, so he's a winner. We needed that mentality and somebody with those expectations. Corman, being a local kid, really, the thing I loved about him is he really wanted to be here. He knew who we were as a university and a basketball program and what we were trying to do, and he really fills a need for us with some shooting. And then Carandis, another Iowa kid that I've known for a long time. I think he's got a chance to be a really special player. He's going through some of the typical freshman struggles. But he's a kid that I think as the year goes on, you'll really see him progress and see a lot more out of him. And then A.J. Summer and Zach Briggs are 2 kids that we brought in as well. Maybe a little further behind than the 3 guys that we mentioned, but certainly kids that we're thrilled to have in the program. They're working hard. Could potentially look at red shirts for those guys as we continue to build and develop our program.
Certainly sounds like you have a well-rounded squad heading into the 2018-19 season. This team has already seen action preseason-wise at Northwestern University. The season tips off for real this weekend up in Michigan with a pair of games in the crossover. Talk about the schedule that has been assembled. Non-conference schedule beefed up a lot. We've already mentioned the 2 Michigan games. You go to Quincy University for a pre-holiday tournament, and then some solid non-conference games as well, in addition to 3 NCAA Division I exhibition games.
Yeah, that one of our goals, we want to be better in the GLVC, and that's our goal. We want to be able to compete for championships in the league, and in order to do that, I think you really got to challenge yourself with your non-conference schedule, and so that's what we did. Northern Michigan's picked 2nd in their league, Michigan Tech's 3rd, and you look at the Union and East Central and the 2 games at Quincy. We're going to play some really good Division II competition. To prepare ourselves. Well, I'm really excited because it's going to help us know where we're at. We've been practicing for a long time, and then you go play Northwestern, who just athletically and size-wise gave us a lot of problems. So playing some good Division II programs, I think, will give us a pretty good idea of where we're at and what we need to do going forward.
Coach, what has been the message throughout preseason camp and heading into this regular season? I know this being your first year at McKendree, trying to build a tradition here. What has been the message throughout?
It's just kind of setting the standard of what's required of you, what's expected if you're going to be in our basketball program, and the guys have done a great job with that. We've asked a lot of them, and I think it's been challenging at times, but they're doing a great job with that. And now as we start games, our goal is let's be progress driven and not results driven. I think we got to be realistic about where we're at and where we're trying to get to. So we just want to keep getting better every day, and that's kind of been the message: is let's, as individuals, as a team, as coaches, whatever it is, let's keep getting a little bit better every day. And by the time we get into the heart of conference in January, if we can do that, I think we'll all feel really good about where we're at.
Coach, what's going to define success for this 2018-19 team? I know you touched on a few things there, but overall, when it's said and done, what will be the defining qualities that you think will spell success for McKendree this season?
I think with anything, you got to be able to handle adversity. No game, no season goes as planned, and when you get to those tough spots, you got to be able to stick together as a group and fight through that stuff and continue to get better. That's why we talk about being progress driven and not results driven. We don't want to let a loss here or there or a win here or there set us back and keep us from focusing on just getting better. So I think being able to handle adversity as it comes and stick together as a group, I think just as a whole, the teams that can do that give themselves a much better shot.
Well, Coach, thanks for taking the time to join us today. Good luck this season.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Don't forget you can follow McKendree basketball as well as the rest of our athletic teams online at mckbearcats.com.